The river Styx, the river of death.
Here, you'll need this. For Charon, the ferryman.
The ghosts of the dead came swarming up from Erebus, brides, young men, old men worn with toil, tender maidens and warriors with spears stained by blood. The Odyssey, Book 11. Hidden beneath the living world, beyond the reach of sunlight, lies the sunless kingdom of Hades and Persephone, the Greek Underworld. It's not a place of fire and brimstone, but of a chill stillness, memory, and silence. The Greeks imagined it as the mirror opposite of life and its inverse state. Before Hades ruled, the underworld was a more undefined realm, ruled by primordial entities like Erebus, the embodiment of primordial darkness, and Nyx, the embodiment of night. It was also a place where monstrous beings were imprisoned, first by Uranus and later by his son Cronus. The Greeks believed that at the moment of death, the psyche, the soul, slipped out of the body like an exhale. From then on, the dead depended entirely on the living for passage below. Without proper rites, a soul was stranded between worlds, doomed to a lonely, unfinished existence outside of reality. Women carried the dead through this transition. They washed and anointed the body, laid it out for prothesis or a wake, and led the mourning. These laments, akin to hysterical outbursts, were actually sacred performances, believed to guide the soul toward Hades' realm. Through grief, women bridged the divide between life and death. Greek belief imagined the underworld as a landscape carved by rivers, 5 of them, each one more than what they seemed. They were symbols of what it meant to be human: hatred, grief, forgetfulness. Even the cleansing fire had its place. The soul's journey began under the watch of Hermes Psychopompus Thanatos, or sometimes another spirit guide, who led the dead to the banks of the river Acheron, or the Styx. There waited Charon, the ferryman. Only those who had been properly buried, with a coin placed under the tongue or on the eyes, could pay the toll and cross. Without this coin, the soul could not pay the fare. Those left unburied were doomed to wander the shore, calling out to the living who could no longer hear them like forgotten, restless spectres. Though the realm bears his name, Hades is not a devil, nor particularly cruel. He's one of 3 sons of Cronus and Rhea, who divided the cosmos after overthrowing their father. Zeus took the sky, Poseidon took the sea, and Hades the earth beneath. Hades rarely leaves his domain, but when he does, mortals tremble, not from malice, but from awe. He is stern, incorruptible, and just. Unlike Zeus, he takes no lovers. His devotion to Persephone defines him entirely. Persephone began as a maiden, the daughter of Demeter, goddess of grain. One spring day, as she gathered flowers, the earth split open and Hades rose from the darkness, seizing her in his chariot. Her cries echoed through the air, but only Helios, the sun, saw what happened. Demeter searched the world, her grief halting the growth of crops and bringing famine to humankind. When Zeus finally intervened, Hades agreed to release Persephone, but before she left, he offered her pomegranate seeds. Eating them bound her to him, for anyone who tasted the food of the dead could never fully return. Thus, Persephone spends part of the year above, bringing spring and life, and part below, ruling as queen of the dead. Her descent marks winter, the time when even the gods must rest. In mystery cults, especially at Eleusis and Arcadia, Persephone was worshipped as Despoina, the mistress. She was no longer the stolen daughter, but the sacred power behind rebirth. In the Eleusinian mysteries, initiates sought her favour not to escape death, but to meet it without fear. Her presence promised regeneration, that death, just like winter, was only a passage. The Acheron, the river of sorrow, was the first the dead would meet. In ancient thought, the river Acheron was the river of the underworld. Some writers even said it rivaled Oceanus, the great river that encircled the world. The Acheron marked the true boundary between life and death. No living soul could cross it unaided, and no dead one could return across its dark waters. It was here that the psychopomps led the newly dead. Its black, sluggish waters carried souls to the ferry of Charon, who rowed them across to judgment. Plato described the Acheron as the path for those who lived neither wickedly nor well. The ordinary souls, neither punished nor rewarded, just waiting to be clean enough to move on. The Styx, the river of hatred, wrapped around the underworld 7 times like a black serpent. Even the gods feared it. To swear an oath on the Styx was binding. If a god broke that promise, they'd fall into a deep coma for a year, then live 9 more in exile from Olympus. The river must be respected. Styx was one of the eldest daughters of Oceanus and Tethys, and the embodiment of hatred itself, the loathing that mortals felt for death, and even the gods felt for betrayal. Her name, literally, means shuddering. When the great Titan War broke out, Styx was the first to side with Zeus. She brought her children, Nike, the goddess of victory, Zelos, of rivalry, Bia, force, and Kratos, strength, to fight at his side. For her loyalty, Zeus granted her river a singular honour, that all divine oaths would be sworn upon it. She and her namesake river embodied and represented unbreakable vows from that moment forth. This same river gave the legendary warrior Achilles his near invincibility when his mother Thetis dipped him into its current as a baby, holding him by one heel. The water hardened him against harm, except for that tiny part she missed. Her small mistake would be his downfall. The Cocytus, the river of lamentation, flowed with tears, literally. This was the stream of mourning and injustice. The souls of those who died too young, or were betrayed or murdered, gathered here. Their endless wailing gave the river its name. In Homer's poems, their cries could be heard even in the world of the living, a ghostly wind rising from the earth, carrying the unending sound of human sorrow. Phlegethon was the river of fire. Its flames poured through the depths like molten rock, encircling Tartarus, the deepest pit of the dead. The Phlegethon was both punishment and purification, its burning current a kind of moral fire that scoured the violent and cruel. Some wrote that it was fueled by the flames of funeral pyres. Plato imagined that its flames didn't destroy, but cleansed, preparing souls for rebirth. Some even believed it was the same fire that burned inside volcanoes, a reminder that the world of the dead wasn't beneath the earth, but inside it. The Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, was the most dangerous of all. Every soul had to drink from the Lethe before returning to the world, to forget their past life. Philosophers said it was a mercy. The poets called it a tragedy. Drink too deeply and you'd lose everything. Your name, your story, and your sense of who you'd been. You'd wander the asphodel meadows like a dream, unfeeling, unknowing, half alive in death. But the mystery cults, those secret religious groups devoted to Persephone and Demeter, taught initiates to seek another spring, that of Mnemosyne, goddess of memory. To drink from her waters was to remember your divine origin, to escape the endless cycle of forgetting and rebirth. To the Greeks, to lose memory was to lose self. To forget your story was the worst fate of all, a second death. deeper than the first. Traversed by these rivers, the underworld itself was a collection of realms, each reflecting a different kind of existence or transgression. The Asphodel Meadows was a grey, endless plain for the ordinary dead. Not punished, not rewarded. Souls wandered here like faint memories, unfeeling, unmoving, living out eternity as morose shadows of what they were. Here, Odysseus met Achilles in the Odyssey. "I would rather be a hired hand to a poor man on earth," said Achilles, "than the king of kings among the dead." The fields of mourning, described in Virgil's Aeneid, held those destroyed by love, mostly women. Phaedra, cursed by Aphrodite with forbidden love for her stepson. Dido, the queen of Carthage, undone by Aeneas's betrayal. Pasiphae, bearing the eternal shame of birthing the Minotaur. And Evadne, a faithful wife who leapt into the flames of her husband's pyre. All wander beneath the myrtle trees, forever remembering their heartbreak. Their punishment is remembrance itself, the ancient fear of feminine emotion cast as eternal suffering. The Elysian fields were the paradise of heroes and the chosen few. Ruled by Rhadamanthus, or Cronus, it was a place of golden sunlight, soft breezes and song. But its still perfection held its own eeriness. No change, no struggle, no story or glory left to tell. Tartarus, the deepest pit of all, was as far beneath Hades as heaven is above earth. The bronze gates held the greatest offenders, those who defied gods or violated sacred law. Their punishments were not random tortures, but moral metaphors. It houses a host of famous figures. Sisyphus cheated death twice and now endlessly pushes a boulder uphill, only to have it roll back each time. Tantalus, who fed his son to the gods, now forever thirsty in a receding pool. Ixion, bound to a flaming wheel for lusting after Hera. Titios, stretched across 9 acres, his liver eternally devoured by vultures for attacking Leto. The Danaides, 50 sisters who murdered their husbands, forever condemned to fill leaking jars with water. In Tartarus, punishment is poetry written in pain. The Greeks believed there were real places where the veil between worlds was thin and where the living could glimpse the dead. The cave of Taenarum, where Heracles entered to capture Cerberus, and Orpheus sought his lost wife Eurydice. The Alcyonian lake at Lerna, where Dionysus descended to rescue his mother Semele. Lake Avernus in Italy, a volcanic lake whose fumes killed birds mid-flight. The Roman hero Aeneas descended there bearing the golden bow for Persephone. Each of these places blurred the line between myth and map, reminders that the underworld was never far away. The Greek underworld isn't hell, not in the Christian sense. It isn't built on moral judgment, eternal torment, or divine wrath. It's colder, quieter, more human. The dead don't burn, they fade. Their punishment isn't fire, it's memory, longing, the echo of what they once were. The underworld is a reflection. The courageous, the cruel, the grieving, the ordinary, all find a place carved to fit their story. The Greeks didn't imagine death as divine retribution, but as a continuation of what it means to be mortal, flawed, yearning, unfinished. To them, the afterlife wasn't about who deserved to burn. It was about who still remembered you and whether your name would linger among the living long enough after your shade had crossed the Styx. Thank you so much for joining us for Pinecone's bite-sized folklore and mythology from Rowan and Pine. We are right bang in the middle of our spooky October content, and you have another absolute whopper of an episode to come later in the week. this is your primer for that. If you're listening to this before October 30th, 2025, be sure to join us on Instagram Live for the Rowan and Pine October Spooktacular. It's our ghost story readings, and we're going to hang out and chat just like we used to back in the beginning of this podcast. If you missed it live, the recording will be on our Instagram for posterity. Before you go, please leave us a comment, review, or rating if you haven't done so already. It really helps us climb up the algorithm and get the word out to everybody else who hasn't discovered us yet. If you have a suggestion or a request, please get in touch via the link tree in the show notes of this episode. Until next time.
Thanks for listening, and fuck yeah, folklore. Fuck yeah, folklore.
Hades, the king of the underworld. Persephone is queen by his side.
Who comes uninvited to my kingdom?
I'm Orpheus, king of Thrace, son of Caliban.
And what does King Orpheus seek from Hades?